film, music and television have all settled into cultural acceptance. So just what is it about video games that generates all this attention?
Our work here kind of focuses on what you could call kind of big data social research. So we analyze very large populations of young people and adults, and we follow them over time. Kind of the goal is to kind of figure out, what is healthy screen time, what's unhealthy screen time, and then what leads some people to kind of get kind of a bit too obsessive about technology and games, and what leads people to use them in a way that's kind of empowering.
So what exactly has the World Health Organization said? Have they called gaming an addiction?
No, I think they've been really careful not to. What they've said is that there might be something called gaming disorder. It's kind of a more amorphous kind of set of possible symptoms that would classify it, where basically gaming takes over their lives. It's all they can think about. Other things drop away, like school, friendships, hobbies.
It's a detriment to their normal life? Is that sort of the difference between sort of passion and a disorder, effectively?
That's kind of the line in the sand that they're drawing. But the problem is that really video games don't work this way. We can get very passionate about a new game and we can play it all weekend or for 2 or 3 weeks, like binge play, like the way we'd maybe watch a new series on Netflix. But then we kind of stop. We pick up something else.
So what would you say are some of the dangers of kind of, rushing to classify something as a gaming addiction?
Well, I think the first and kind of most obvious one is it might not be an addiction. And so we have some very serious organizations going out on a limb. So the studies aren't done well, the evidence isn't good, and we have the World Health Organization standing behind it. That can be pretty embarrassing, and that can kind of maybe be wrapped up in things like fake news. The second thing that's a problem is, we're dealing with tens and hundreds of millions of players worldwide. Our research shows that maybe 0.5% of gamers have a real problem fitting games into their lives, right? So this leaves the other 99.5% of gamers probably fine. It's a normal hobby. And if overnight we kind of say that this is something that might be addictive, we're going to be stigmatizing a lot of people.
All the main consoles, so Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, they have inbuilt systems like time limiters and parental controls that means that you can restrict how long your kids are spending playing video games. You can control what your kids are doing via an app. You don't even need to take the console off them.
Try to be curious about what's happening as opposed to kind of immediately assuming that we're dealing with some kind of digital heroin.